the final model we're going to have a look at is called the Big Rocks, Little Rocks method. So let's recap. We have clear objectives through the SMARTY model. We've looked at the urgent important model and method of prioritization, and we prioritize against our objectives. We understand the 80-20 principle and the leverage of making sure that we do those important tasks. Now we're into planning and scheduling out our week. So planning being, what am I going to do? And scheduling being, when am I going to do it? So let's have a look at the diagram here. On the left hand side you have a glass vessel. That represents your weekly schedule. So it might be your weekly schedule in Outlook, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The big rocks, they represent large important tasks, and they're large because of time. It may take an hour, hour and a half, maybe as much as 2 hours to do. Important tasks. Little rocks, they represent little important tasks. They're little by time. So 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. And then we have this sand, and there's loads and loads of sand. It represents urgent tasks. The temptation for a lot of people when they come in at the start of the week or in the morning is think, let me get all those small things out of the way, and then I'll get on to the big things. Not good behaviour, not a good strategy. So that's what we want to try and move away from. So, exercise here, which I'd like to you to consider in a second, is in what order do we put these items, big rocks, little rocks and sand, into that glass vessel so it all fits. Now this represents you planning out the tasks you have to do. Ideal situation for your weekly planning is Friday afternoon, maybe mid-afternoon. You write down what your big rocks are for the following week, what your little rocks are, and obviously you're going to have the sand and that'll keep coming in. And then it's a case of scheduling in when you're going to do your big rocks, when you're going to do your little rocks, and then obviously the sand. So exercise again is there's only one order in which they'll go into the glass vessel, which they'll fit. If you don't put them in the right order, what will happen is they'll either overflow out of the glass, meaning you have to work overtime, or you won't get them done. Okay? So I'll give you a couple of minutes to think about that, and then we'll have a look at what the result is. Process that we're looking at here, about planning and scheduling out your week, the order in which we need big rocks, little rocks and sand to go into that glass vessel is this. Big rocks absolutely need to go in first. Highly important task, got to get done, got to be scheduled in first. So block out time in your calendar to get those tasks actually done. A chunk of time, put it in. Then we put in the little rocks, and as the little rocks go into glass vessel, they'll just find their way around the big rocks and bed themselves in there, and then we can just pour the sand over it and it will fit in. So big rocks first, little rocks, and then sand. That's an excellent method of planning and scheduling out your week. So that's the end of the 4 behavioural models. Now we'll move on to look at Outlook and how we can use Outlook as a tool to enable us to implement and integrate good habits and behaviour relating to time management.